Happy hunting.
We're on it.
Tell us, look, we have them.
Like crystalline headlights. Let's fly, baby!
Who the fuck is the fire?
Outside!
One more and we're on. It was yesterday.
Yep.
The world's most elite and aging mercenaries are called back into the fray when a mysterious terrorist leader named Rahmat orchestrates a daring heist to steal nuclear detonators from a former chemical weapons plant in Libya. Led by Barney Ross and Lee Christmas, the team faces a devastating betrayal and the apparent loss of their leader, forcing them to navigate a high-stakes conspiracy involving a shadowy figure known as Ocelot. As they track the detonators across the globe to a massive cargo ship, the Expendables must use every ounce of their combat prowess to prevent a nuclear exchange between superpowers and clear their names once and for all.
Don't move and turn
around slowly.
Oh, who the fuck is calling?
Oh, don't give me that.
Pravi герой.
Право пръсва.
Where are my friends?
He's on the stern.
This way. On three. Where did he go?
We're gonna stay quiet until
The fucking VIP. She got a thing for that.
I got you.
Hey, puta!
I'm a little busy right now.
No more. You're gonna give me the kill switch.
figured out conflict that while devastating for me, for somebody, and that somebody. Enjoy the show!
We need to get clear of this.
We're never making it tank. Going down my watch.
Boat. It's being towed.
Hey, we're on the way out.
After that, come and fight.
Needed the start.
Let's go.
It's his decision to make. You can't get rid of me! Wait.
But you fucking move.
25 years ago, and he failed. This is... Barney would be proud of you. You almost fucking killed... Come on!
Hey, you were dead.
Hey guys, today we are diving deep into the world of high-octane explosions, grunting action stars, and the smell of gunpowder with the fourth installment of the Merc franchise, Expendables. This movie brings the heat and the grit with a whole lot of creative ways to dismantle bad guys, while reminding us that some heroes never really retire. If you had a good time with this, a like and a subscribe is a free way to help me keep making more. We are going to see if the old guard still has what it takes to save the world, or if they should finally consider a quiet life of leisure and luxury. The story kicks off with a deafening roar as a fleet of black tactical vehicles tears through the scorching sands of the Libyan desert. The heat is almost visible, shimmering over the dunes as the convoy approaches a desolate chemical weapons plant that has seen much better days. We see Rahmat, a man who clearly does not care about international treaties, leading his group of well-armed mercenaries with a cold and calculated efficiency. The sound of their heavy boots hitting the dusty concrete is rhythmic and menacing, like a drumbeat for the carnage about to follow. Inside the facility, the local guards are caught completely off guard, and the air is suddenly filled with the sharp whistle of silencers and the dull thuds of bodies hitting the ground. Rahmat is looking for nuclear detonators, and he is not the kind of guy who asks twice or waits for a formal invitation. The way he moves through the corridors suggests he has done this 1,000 times before, and every movement is a testament to his lethal training. He finds what he is looking for in a high-security vault that stands no chance against his specialized equipment, and the metallic screech of the vault door being forced open echoes through the cavernous halls like a dying animal. With the detonators in hand, he prepares to vanish back into the shadows, but not before leaving a trail of destruction that will inevitably catch the attention of the powers that be. Meanwhile, back in the States, we find Barney Ross visiting his old friend Lee Christmas in a setting that is far removed from the battlefields of the world. They are at a bar, and Barney is struggling with a classic problem. He lost his prized ring in a game of chance. The bar is a dive, filled with the smell of old wood and cheap whiskey, and the atmosphere is thick with the camaraderie of two men who have seen way too much together. Barney asks Christmas for help in getting his ring back, leading to a confrontation with a group of tough guys who clearly do not know who they are messing with. The fight is quick and brutal, a symphony of breaking glass and the heavy thud of fists connecting with jawbones. Christmas moves with a fluidity that belies his age, dodging punches and delivering counterattacks with the precision of a surgeon. The sound of a beer bottle shattering against a table is like a gunshot in the small room, and within minutes, the opposition is on the floor, groaning in pain, while Barney calmly retrieves his ring. It is a classic moment that shows these guys still have that spark, even if their joints might ache a bit more in the morning. They share a laugh and a drink, but the peace is short-lived as the call of duty comes knocking once again in the form of a mission that sounds far more dangerous than anything they have faced in a long time. Marsh, the CIA handler who looks like he has spent way too much time in an office, briefs the team on the situation in Libya. He explains that Rahmat is working for a shadowy figure named Ocelot, an alias for someone who has been a thorn in the side of international security for decades. The goal is simple but incredibly difficult. Get to the chemical plant, stop Rahmat, and recover the detonators before they can be used to start World War III. The team is assembled, featuring some familiar faces like Toll Road and Gunner, along with some fresh blood like Easy Day, Galan, and Lash. The new recruits bring a different energy to the group, but there is an undeniable tension between the old guard and the newcomers. Easy Day is fast and loud, while Galan is the son of an old friend, bringing a manic energy that seems to baffle Gunner, who is still dealing with his own eccentricities and a newfound interest in reading. Lash is a specialist with a chain whip, and the metallic rattle of her weapon is a constant reminder that she is not someone to be trifled with. They board Barney's old cargo plane, which sounds like it is held together by duct tape and sheer willpower. The roar of the engines is a deafening hum that vibrates through the entire fuselage, and as they take off, the team prepares for the chaos that awaits them on the other side of the world. The flight to Libya is a moment of quiet reflection before the storm, but even here, the sarcasm is thick. Gunner is trying to read a book on philosophy, while the others sharpen their blades or check their ammunition. The sound of a whetstone scraping against steel is a sharp, repetitive noise that sets the tone for the violence to come. Barney is in the cockpit, his hands steady on the controls, looking out over the clouds with a gaze that has seen the rise and fall of nations. He knows that this mission is different, and there is a sense of foreboding that hangs in the air. As they approach the drop zone, the team gears up, the rhythmic click of magazines being slammed into rifles and the zipping of tactical vests creating a mechanical chorus. They are about to jump into a literal firestorm, and they all know it. The wind howls as the cargo bay door opens, revealing the dark expanse of the Libyan night, and one by one, the Expendables leap into the abyss, their silhouettes disappearing into the shadows. The ground assault begins with a series of coordinated strikes that light up the Libyan facility like a fireworks display. The sound of heavy machine gun fire is relentless, a rapid-fire staccato that drowns out the shouts of the enemy guards. Christmas is on the move, his knives flying through the air with deadly accuracy, each one finding its mark with a soft squelch that is barely audible over the roar of the battle. Barney is in his plane, providing air support and circling the plant like a hungry vulture. He sees Rahmat's convoy attempting to escape and dives in for the kill. The whoosh of the plane's engines as it passes low over the facility is a terrifying sound, a physical wave of noise that shakes the ground. However, things go sideways fast. Rahmat has sophisticated anti-aircraft weaponry, and the sky is suddenly filled with the bright streaks of surface-to-air missiles. Barney's plane is hit, the metal groaning and screeching as it is torn apart by the blast. The team watches in horror as the aircraft spirals out of control, crashing into the desert floor with a massive explosion that sends a shockwave rolling across the sand. The deafening silence that follows the blast is even more haunting than the noise of the battle.
The aftermath of the crash is a somber affair. The team stands around the charred remains of the plane, the smell of burning fuel and melted metal stinging their nostrils. They find a body in the wreckage that they believe to be Barney's, identifiable only by his signature ring. The grief is palpable, a heavy weight that settles over the group as they realize their leader is gone. Back in the States, a memorial service is held, a quiet ceremony where stories of Barney's exploits are shared with a mixture of reverence and sadness. However, the mission is not over, and the CIA is not happy. Marsh blames Christmas for the failure, citing his decision to stay behind and help Barney instead of pursuing the detonators. Christmas is stripped of his position and kicked off the team, a move that leaves him feeling isolated and betrayed. He watches from the sidelines as the rest of the group, now led by Gina, his former flame and a formidable operative in her own right, prepares for the next phase of the operation. Gina is tough as nails, and her leadership style is more structured than Barney's, but she still feels the loss of her friend and the absence of Christmas. Christmas is not the kind of man to sit around and wait for things to happen, so he decides to take matters into his own hands. He knows that Rahmat and the detonators are headed for a massive cargo ship called the Gentara, which is currently navigating the treacherous waters of the Indian Ocean. To get there, he needs help, which leads him to a former expendable named Decha, who is now living a quiet life in Thailand. Decha is a master of martial arts and weaponry, but he has sworn off violence, seeking peace in a small village surrounded by the lush greenery of the jungle. The transition from the gritty urban environments to the vibrant, humid atmosphere of Thailand is a sensory shift. The sound of the wind through the palm trees and the distant calls of tropical birds create a deceptive sense of calm. Christmas finds Decha and tries to convince him to join the fight. The dialogue between them is a dance of mutual respect and stubbornness. Decha eventually agrees to provide transportation, but he insists that he will not pick up a weapon. They set out on a small, fast boat, the engines hum a constant companion as they skim across the blue water toward the target.
While Christmas is making his way to the ship, the rest of the Expendables are already there, having been deployed by the CIA to intercept the vessel. The Gentara is a behemoth of steel, its hull covered in rust and grime from years of service. It towers over the water like a floating fortress, and the sound of the ocean crashing against its sides is a low, rhythmic thrum. The team attempts a stealthy boarding, but they are quickly discovered. A massive firefight breaks out on the deck, the air filled with the metallic ping of bullets ricocheting off storage containers. The choreography of the fight is chaotic and intense. Toll Road uses his immense strength to toss enemies over the railing, the sound of their screams fading as they hit the water far below. Gunner provides cover fire from a high vantage point, his rifle bark echoing across the open sea. Lash uses her chain whip to disarm and incapacitate guards, the whip cracking like a lightning strike with every swing. Despite their skill, they are outnumbered and outgunned. Rahmat's men use the layout of the ship to their advantage, trapping the team in a cargo hold. The heavy metallic clang of the doors being locked shut signals their capture, leaving them in a desperate situation with a nuclear timer ticking away nearby. Christmas arrives at the Gentara just as things are looking their grimmest. He and Decha pull up alongside the massive ship, the small boat looking like a toy next to the giant vessel. Christmas scales the side of the ship with the agility of a cat, his breathing steady despite the physical exertion. Once on board, he begins a one-man war against Rahmat's crew. This is where we see the full extent of his lethality. He moves through the narrow corridors and cramped machine rooms like a ghost, taking out guards before they even know he is there. The sound of his knives finding their marks is a recurring theme, a soft and deadly punctuation to his progress. He finds a storage room filled with various tools and equipment, and in a moment of classic action movie ingenuity, he crafts several improvised weapons and traps. The humor comes through as he mutters to himself about the lack of proper gear, making a sarcastic comment about how he should have brought a bigger knife. He eventually makes his way to the cargo hold where his teammates are being held, using an explosive charge to blow the locks. The sound of the explosion is a thunderous roar that shakes the very frame of the ship, and the team emerges from the smoke, ready for a rematch.
The reunion is brief but impactful. Christmas and Gina share a look that says more than words ever could, a mixture of relief and shared determination. The team knows they have to stop the detonators and find Rahmat before he can complete his mission. They split up to cover more ground, leading to several parallel action sequences that showcase the different talents of the group. Toll Road and Gunner find themselves in the engine room, a hot and noisy environment where the roar of the massive pistons makes communication nearly impossible. They face off against a squad of heavily armed mercenaries in a close quarters battle where every punch and kick feels like it has the weight of a sledgehammer behind it. The sound of metal clashing against metal and the hiss of escaping steam add to the intensity of the scene. Meanwhile, Lash and Easy Day are on the upper decks, using their speed and agility to navigate the labyrinth of containers and walkways. They take down enemies with a series of coordinated strikes, their movements a blur of motion that leaves a trail of defeated foes in their wake. In a surprising turn of events, it is revealed that Marsh, the CIA handler, is actually the man behind the Ocelot persona. He has been playing both sides for years, orchestrating the theft of the detonators to spark a conflict that would benefit him and his mysterious backers. The betrayal is a cold and calculated move, and Marsh shows no remorse as he prepares to escape the ship with the detonators, leaving the Expendables and the rest of the crew to perish in the coming nuclear blast. The confrontation between Marsh and the team is a tense moment, filled with the weight of his treachery. He is not a physical powerhouse like Rahmat, but he is a master of manipulation and has a small army of loyal followers to protect him. The dialogue is sharp and biting, with Christmas delivering a few choice words about the nature of loyalty and the price of betrayal. This sets the stage for the final showdown, a multi-layered battle that will determine the fate of millions and the ultimate survival of the Expendables.
The final battle on the Jantarara is a masterclass in action choreography and cinematic spectacle. The sun is beginning to set, casting a long and dramatic shadow over the water, and the sky is a bruised purple and orange. Rahmat and Christmas face off in a brutal hand-to-hand combat sequence that is both visceral and poetic. The sound of their blows is heavy and resonant, each strike carrying the weight of their respective histories. Rahmat is a formidable opponent, his movements precise and deadly, but Christmas has the advantage of desperation and a lifetime of experience. They move across the deck, dodging around equipment and using the environment to their advantage. The metallic clang of a pipe hitting the deck and the grunt of exertion from both men provide the soundtrack to their struggle. In a final, decisive move, Christmas manages to get the upper hand, delivering a blow that sends Rahmat over the edge of the ship and into the dark waters below. The sound of the splash is quickly drowned out by the roar of the ship's engines and the ongoing chaos of the larger battle. Just when it seems like Marsh is going to escape in a helicopter with the detonators, a familiar sound fills the air. It is the roar of an engine, but not just any engine. A sleek, fast-moving jet appears on the horizon, diving toward the ship with incredible speed. To everyone's shock, the pilot is none other than Barney Ross. It turns out he faked his death in the earlier crash to draw out Ocelot and identify the true traitor within the CIA. The reveal is a moment of pure triumph, accompanied by a triumphant musical score and the sound of the jet's cannons firing. Barney's return is the turning point the team needs. He uses the jet's weaponry to disable Marsh's escape vehicle, the sound of the explosions and the screech of tearing metal filling the air. Marsh is left stranded on the deck, his plans crumbling around him as the Expendables close in. Barney lands his aircraft on the deck with a skill that only he possesses, stepping out of the cockpit with a grin that says he never had any doubt he would make it back in time. The final confrontation with Marsh is less of a fight and more of a reckoning. He tries to bargain, offering money and power in exchange for his life, but the Expendables are not interested in what a traitor has to say. The team stands together, a united front of grizzled veterans and new recruits who have earned their place. Barney delivers the final word, a short and punchy statement about the importance of family and the consequences of crossing the line. The sound of a single gunshot echoes across the deck, bringing Marsh's reign of deception to a definitive end. The detonators are secured, and the threat of nuclear war is averted. The team takes a moment to breathe, the adrenaline finally starting to fade as they look out over the ocean. The sound of the waves and the quiet hum of the ship are a peaceful contrast to the violence of the last few hours. They have survived another mission, and despite the bruises and the scars, they are still standing. As the Gentara sails towards a safe harbor, the team gathers on the deck for one last celebration. Decha, true to his word, did not pick up a weapon, but his help was invaluable, and he shares a quiet moment of respect with Christmas. The humor returns as they joke about their various injuries and the absurdity of their situation. Barney and Christmas share a drink, the same way they did at the beginning of the story, their bond stronger than ever. They reflect on the friends they have lost and the battles they have won, acknowledging that while they might be getting older, they are far from being finished. The sound of their laughter and the clinking of glasses is a warm and human ending to a story defined by its action and intensity. They are the Expendables, and as long as there is a world that needs saving and a paycheck at the end of the line, they will be there to answer the call. The ship eventually reaches land, and the team departs, each going their own way until the next mission inevitably arises. Barney watches them go with a sense of pride, knowing that the legacy of the group is in good hands. He walks back to his plane, the sound of his boots on the metal ramp a familiar and comforting noise. The sun has fully set now, and the stars are beginning to appear in the night sky. He takes off into the darkness, the roar of the engines a powerful and defiant sound that echoes across the horizon. The world might think they are expendable, but they have proven once again that they are the only ones who can do what needs to be done. The screen fades to black as the sound of the jet fades into the distance, leaving us with the image of a team that is more than just a group of mercenaries. They are a family bound by blood and fire.
The story of the Expendables is a testament to the enduring power of brotherhood and the unwavering spirit of those who choose to stand in the gap between peace and chaos. These men and women carry the weight of their choices and the scars of their pasts, not as burdens, but as badges of honor that define their humanity. In a world that often values the new and the shiny over the experienced and the resilient, they remind us that there is a profound strength in longevity and a deep wisdom in those who have survived the unthinkable. Their journey is one of constant sacrifice, but it is also one of profound connection, showing us that even in the darkest of times, we are never truly alone if we have others to stand beside us. The legacy they leave behind is not just one of battles won, but of the bonds formed in the heat of the fray, proving that the most powerful weapon any of us possesses is the loyalty we show to those we call our own. Expend4 serves as a high-octane reminder of why we love the action genre, blending old-school grit with modern spectacle to create a thrilling ride from start to finish. It captures the essence of a franchise that celebrates its roots while embracing a new generation of talent, all while maintaining the core themes of loyalty and redemption. Whether it is the visceral fight scenes or the quiet moments of camaraderie, the movie delivers an experience that is both nostalgic and exciting, leaving us to wonder what new challenges await these legendary heroes in the future. What do you think is the most important quality for a leader in a high-stakes world like this?